Hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris Ormy and today we're playing more Starters Orders 7. Couple of races booked, couple that I might not run. There's a couple of grade 3s for these two fillies. Now, the reason I might not do it is because they're 5 furlongs and we're waiting on the third maiden for Symbiote and Aslander. One at 6, so don't know if they get 5. Don't know. So we're going to wait and see on those, for example. That's just the way I like to do things. I like to book the races, especially if you are using any form of sort of money cheat or betting, or you've just got money in the bank, no matter how it's there. You don't need to worry about the race entry fees, so you might as well book them, get to the day. What I like to do, I like to get towards the day, save maybe a day before or on the day, and then look at the field and look at my horse and make my decision then. Because sometimes I won't want to race and I can pull out. Other times, if I haven't done that and I haven't already booked them, and then I fancy putting them in, especially for a big race, and I've done this for the Kentucky Derby itself, the Arc de Triomphe, for a few other massive races. I've kind of gone into the day, I've looked at the field, and I'm a little disappointed that I didn't put my horse in. Of course, it's way too late at that point. The only chance you got is the day before. Day of, whether you're at the day's racing or not, does not matter. You cannot enter your horse. Sometimes it's worth just saving, taking a moment, thinking about it, and making that decision. The game day decision, as I call it. Of course, there aren't any games within horse racing, really. It's just something I've picked up terminology from other sports management games. But yeah, when you're leaving something to the last minute, usually it's a game day decision. Make it on the day of the game and not before. That being said, we do have 2 races before we even get to those 2 horses. And I believe that they're both sort of mid-February, which means we will get to the third maiden. We will get to the third maiden. But before all that, up first, the 1 Mile Stewart's Cup. Now, Chatin is a phenomenal French horse. There's some other really good horses. Now, this is what I'm on about game day decisions. Looking at this field and looking at Tobago Bay, like, there's no way I should be in this race. I don't think I've got the quality in my horse as a 3-year-old to take on these horses. I think we'll be lucky to get third. I think we're the 4th best horse. I really do. So, from that point of view, I probably should have pulled out. Now, the thing is, don't know how good this horse is going to be, or how much I'm going to use it in the future. So, realistically, it doesn't matter. But this should have been a game day decision that I didn't do. Bagel Bay, Midnight Oil, for certain the top 2 horses. Who knows what the domestics, Machia Bay is there. I mean, as a grade 1 winner. We're parading well and fit. Looks like a couple of the domestics could look fitter. The other 2 are okay. But Tobago Bay and Midnight Oil, definitely 2 other fit horses that probably have more quality than. So, yeah, okay. Maybe we reached a little bit on this one. Perhaps. But let's go see what it's all about. Let's get off to Chatin for our first race of this series. And it's going to be Picor in the 1 Mile Stewart's Cup here at Chatin. Grade 1 for 3-year-olds and above. We are the youngest horse in this field. We will, of course, be running the wrong way here. Right-hand turn. Not a bad start for us. Tobago Bay towards the rear. Colours red and Mature Bay on the inside. We've got Zaya just ahead of us. And Social Upheaval on the outside. Minute Oil has a lengthy lead here. Coming down now inside the 4 furlong marker. You can see we're starting to make a move. The field is there. Mature Bay. Doesn't look like much from Tobago Bay right now. Into the final furlong. Zooming out. We're looking like we're probably going to come past Zia for 4th place. Not going to get up towards that 3rd marker, I don't feel right now. Just running out of space towards the line. It's Midnight Bay, Mature Bay. Sorry, Midnight Oil, Mature Bay, and Colours Red take it. Tobago Bay just didn't get into this at all. See, there we're half a length ahead. We're almost 2 lengths ahead of Tobago Bay. I would have thought would have taken this. Not a bad run, but exactly where I thought we would be. Now 5 lengths back, middle of the pack. That's kind of where I thought we'd be. Tobago Bay kind of just really didn't perform. Decent but Mature Bay, Colours Red, Midnight Oil got the win. Decent horse. You know. Finally wins a grade 1. Came close to Kranji. Singapore. I can't complain. I cannot complain. Decent all in. I've got to be honest. That's a lot more decent than I thought. It's 62,500. We don't really care about the money, but it's still a fair chunk of change. I thought we'd take 4th, maybe 5th, depending. Didn't have a shot at the top 3. And really, if Tobago Bay had run the way I thought they would, then I'd expect them and Midnight Oil to fight for it. I mean, that would have pushed us down to 5th. So that trip suited perfectly. Yeah, I mean, there we are. That's about it. I mean, not bad. Not great. Definitely want to try and maybe find a slightly lower caliber of race. Definitely a domestic. Almost maxed out that potential. Don't know what they're going to look like as a 4-year-old. Don't think it's going to be anything too great, but again, it doesn't need to be. Quite competitive there. We're okay. This could be interesting. This could be interesting. Don't know anything about the mare. We do know Malaton. That brings up a laid-back 3-year-old filly, 79 rated. 6 furlong maiden. A little bit back. Okay. And then moves up to 7 furlongs. Just heads out. And then a handicap. Carrying 1 stone, 3 pounds more. And yet was only a length behind. That's not a bad racing record. The sire we know is a good sire. I think we can pick them up. Maybe we pick up Victory Lap as well, you know. Maybe we pick up Victory Lap. Worst case scenario, they go into the breeding barn. We use them both anyway to discover new sires. So, drive the price up a little bit there. 278.5. Oh, yeah. See, unraced 3-year-olds. Not as pricey as unraced 2-year-olds. They still pack a punch. So, a little over 1.2 million. That's stamina. Okay. Yeah, definitely wasn't running, I don't think, the right length there. It did say ran on, so, okay, maybe, yeah, I mean, it's a mile 1 to a mile 2, maybe more. Not great speed, but speed and stamina are tied. Not too bad there. Let's see. Yeah, got potential. Got potential. Got cruising burst. Lack some other stuff, but could be an okay. Could be an okay filly to breed from. Victory lap looks like she wants about a mile. Not too bad there. And again, I mean, okay, consistency's absurdly low. Not a full finish, and the potential isn't great. It's not the worst I've seen picked up at auction. For 1.5 million, I don't hate. I don't hate either of them. I really don't love either of them as racers. But with everybody here being bred with, yeah, there's only 2 more that have to breed from. Caught in there. Thought Moscow caught my is. Lennox Woods. I mean, honestly, I might just start going for. I know all of these have been done. 5 out of 13. Coffee, no. Okay. Excited, but excitable. So didn't really get too wound up. So that could be something perhaps that gets bred out. But 5 wins in 13 runs. Like 2 in 7 for final V. Not the worst in the world. So yeah, good runners, decent distance, not gonna hurt too much on the off chance that we get a good yearling. So there are 25 horses in fall. We've just added Toffee Nose and Final Vito to the pool of potential studs we want to use in the future. And we're still breeding 32 Red and Monty Fay. I really don't think any of these will be amazing to breed from. Yeah, I mean, she's about the best, to be fair. The only one we've got a good horse from. That's how we know Marleton is good. So, yeah. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Save the game. Now we're going to go in for Dana's present. Not as good a horse as last one, I don't think. So, there is that. Okay. We're not running too badly on this horse. We're right up there in terms of rating. Pass form's decent. Ascendant's grade 1, but carries 6 more pounds. Everyone, pretty much in the same boat. Otherwise, Excellent Gem is laid back, maybe a little lazy. Okay, not too badly. Not too badly at all. Very fit, primed to go. A couple of lean moving wells. Yep, nothing really crazy there. That'll do nicely. Should be the overwhelming favourite, apparently, in this race. We'll watch them and Hassadin. I think those are the 2 I really want to keep an eye on in this race. That'll do nicely, and Hassadin. It's raining. San Rafael Stakes. It's a grade 2 for 3-year-olds on dirt. And we're out okay. We went towards the front there. I don't know kind of how this horse likes to run, but Zaran and Cody, Wyoming. Then on our inside, Excellent Gem with Saddle as well. And then the two on the outside at the rear here. That'll do nicely. And then Hasadin. We're in decent running position now, rounding the turn. We're going to run a little wide here. Hasadin running very wide, down towards the final furlong. And now I expect us to be out of the race at this point, because we don't really have what it takes to come from deep. Hasadin yet to make a real challenge. That'll do nicely coming up on the outside. But nowhere near the winners here. Barely able to edge us out. The two horses that were fancied in this field finish either side of us. Cody, Wyoming, off to a good start with Zaran. They do come in 1-2. Cody coming in there a quarter length ahead. Decent run for a few of these horses. We faded. So maybe 7 furlongs. Maybe that's a 7 furlong horse. I think that's what we look at. I think that's what we got to look at. Hutchinson, Sam Fitz. I'm going to keep trying those grade 2s. Maybe a grade 1 if it comes up. If we get the right grade 1 here, I mean, that's going to be a tough race. But probably a winnable, right? Probably a winnable. So we're going to slide all in. The best thing is, most of these races are going to be run at 9 stone for fillies and 9.3 for males. So having the jockey right at 9 stone kind of helps. You're not carrying any dead weight whatsoever. And I just don't. Running my 6 furlongs in 5 furlong races right now. So, okay. Maiden number 3. Symbiote's time once again. Ran green the first 2 times. Ran off distance the first time. Still came in okay. Still came in okay. Yeah, 5 furlong grade 3 is on the table. Let's see what we do then. Okay. Could be good. Got a good jockey in as well. Lopez. Pretty good jockey. 8-8. Needs to ride at 8-8. Overwhelming favourite, as we should be. If we don't run green, I think everything's good. There's lazy, there's agitated horse. Symbiote finally picks up a maiden. Not a great win, but a good win. I'll take that. I will take that. Yeah. Yeah, not a great win, but a good win. Maxed out potential. But a good looking horse. And I mean, really, the main thing for me there was not to run green again. Yeah, everything came together. We picked up the maiden win. 86 is a respectable rating. And I feel comfortable. Seems to enjoy 5 furlongs. Putting it in a grade 3, I think, is the right move next. So I feel comfortable with that booking. Aslander, I'm not sure. The others, guess we'll kind of see. Nothing in a Friday auction. Bunch of 2-year-olds that we should probably buy. Right, we should probably buy. Go ahead. I'm going to go out and buy these horses. Yeah, money's no object. I can always gamble for more. Got a big enough stake to like make a ton of money really quickly if we need to. So I'm just gonna keep bidding till the other trainers walk away. I think most of these are going for decent prices. I mean, there's a lot of unraced or lightly raced 2-year-olds here, so price is going to be fairly high. Around that 700 marker for most of them. Where you expect to be. Of course, if one of these is good, really does pay for the rest. If one of these comes out good enough, you're looking at maybe 5 to 6 million the entire lot. And a good 2-year-old that can win probably over the lifetime of his career, probably net you a profit of 15, maybe 20, plus breeding rights, plus probably still being sold for 3 to 4 million. We'll be looking ballpark 20 million easily. But of course, that's for the very best. And it's been a long time since I got a horse of that caliber in a 2-year-old auction. It's been a long time since I had a horse of that caliber from any auction. Right now, I just feel like it's worth taking the risk. I've got nothing to lose. A little bit of time, a little bit of in-game money that I have a lot of. So I think we just dropped a lot there because Chillo Charlie actually came in a lot more than I expected. Yeah, everything else was about the same kind of range of prices I was expecting. The top horses around that 700 marker. Couple above, couple below. Couple of lower ones. And of course the big one. 2.3, which is normally where they are. So always right. Not great. Bottom bar's not great. This is what you can expect. Probably not a lot of potential in these horses. And unless they're approaching the 70-ish mark, as a 2-year-old, we're soon going to be breeding horses in or above that level. And so, really don't want to settle for less. I don't. Again, we could turn these 2-year-olds into breeders, these fillies, and get them breeding with a bunch of horses if you want. But you know, none of these have made it. But were any actually foaled by a good sire? Yes. There's Calabaza. As you can see, he has a few things we'd quite like. It's high potential. Cruising burst isn't bad. Extra speed is acceptable. Not quite up at 80%, but it's above 70, and if that's... Yeah, you've got to set your limits somewhere. So this will become the sixth horse that I am going to putting down. In my list. 5-year-old with, what do we call that? 65? 65 ability, as I like to term it. 90 potential. 10 battling quality. 0 confidence. That could be an issue, but 0 confidence. Most horses have, I think, between like 30 and 50 is kind of like a normal range for most horses. If you're above 50, they're quite confident. If they're below 30, then you might have some issue. But a really good horse that keeps winning, confidence doesn't matter because you're not going to have that bad result that triggers a lack of confidence. And you can always rest horses as well. I've had good success in doing that. So 40 cruising burst say 75 extra speed, far from the worst. This 50% deterioration. Enthusiasm of 70 is quite nice. Half a bar finishing, don't love that, but again, we can breed that out fairly easily within a generation. So, yeah, okay. Not bad. We've basically paid 7 million right now to find out that Carbaza is a pretty good horse to breed from. And like I say, we had a number of others. Highest potential horse we've had, but low confidence, and the only half bar finishing application. So, you know, that's not amazing, but among the highest numbers elsewhere. And considering they got half a bar finishing, puts them 50 points behind every other horse on my list. And 0 confidence. They're 25 points away from the lowest total of points on that list. And then 95 off joining Marleton as the top horse. Marleton's 595, Calbaza's 500. You put that up to 550 for finishing application for a full bar. That means if their confidence was 45, it would be a better horse than Marleton. Technically. So 45 confidence would do that if their finishing bar was full. And Marleton's got 85 confidence. So it goes to show kind of right, around the edges, Calabars pretty deep. You'll see some of these as well. They have the blank report here because the horse expired, which means either they've died or they've been retired out of the game. They are no longer available. You will see that some are still in stud, not fencing. Or anyone else at the moment. Montefiore. Montefiore is actually on my list. It's the lowest, it's 525. It is the lowest of the bunch. It's got the lowest ability, bow 2. It's got the lowest potential. Lowest confidence before Calabaza was around. Mid-cruising burst. Actually, the highest extra speed. Over 80, pushing towards 85. Lowest deterioration at 40. Kind of mid-enthusiasm. So, yeah, kind of an okay option. You can see standing at Land's End Farm. That means they're currently at stud. Now, if they're not currently at stud, don't worry. They probably will be again at some point soon. So I don't tend to really worry about that. But sometimes they are taken out and raced. But Monty, at least. We've already seen, I believe. It's not quite enough there for me to pick from. There's some interesting stuff, but I don't believe. I mean, I'm going to write out the numbers and we'll see. But I don't believe this hits 500. If it does, it'll be close. Higher ability than more, so I'm going to give it 70 to 75. In doing so, that's probably going to give it a decent whack, but 0 confidence. 35. I had difficulty there for some reason. 75. 100. 30, 50, 100. Yeah, 445. So I was right in thinking it wouldn't even hit 500. That's going to be my overall. No, I don't count deterioration into that, but everything else is added. Ability, dark green bar, potential, the light green. Battling qualities, confidence, cruising burst, extra speed, enthusiasm, and finish application consistency. All those are added. Tend to round to the nearest, but quite often I'll round up. So, yeah. That's why some of these horses may make it, in other ways just don't. And you've got to have your system. You've got to have a list of criteria that you're going to stick to. Otherwise, it just won't work. I'm going in and out of the horses. Now, I could do all this in one, right? I could check the horse's stats, then check the sire, the filly stat, and then go back to the summary after I got everything and retire. I don't know why. I like going in, checking the horse's stats, and then moving on to the next horse, and so on and so forth, until I get through all of those, all of the sires. Sometimes I'll check the dam, not often. Sometimes I would check the dam in case she comes up. Like in a breeder's auction, usually they'll come up. But often I'll notice a name that I recognize somewhere. So it can be worth just checking that out and see if you find one you like. Because then you can breed it to all the good studs that you found. And then on the third pass or fourth pass, I'll come in and actually take off. We don't want them. And we don't really want them in the game. If we put them back in the game and they breed, we know they're not going to breed anything good. Now with the colts, I could geld them. That means they can't breed and we can still make money off them, I suppose. Like, I'm just keeping a horse I know isn't very good in the game. Whereas if I got rid of 20 horses, there's a chance that one of the 20 that's generated to replace them to keep the kind of horse pool the same size, the pool of horses the game uses, there's a chance one of those is okay and a better option to breed from. So I kind of take them all out. And the fillies, again, you can use in breeding like I've been doing to find other horses to be good studs to your mares. But got enough. Don't need that. So, yeah, we're going to waste that 6 to 7 million. I think it was 7 and change, if I'm honest. We're not going to worry about it. We're just going to let that money go. We'll earn more money soon through breeding before that money runs out. And if that money does run out, because I've been a bit too overzealous in the sales, because there's a lot of sales, and I will tend to take risks on horses. Yeah, we'll just go in, we'll bet, we'll make our money back, and job done. You know, there's just no downside to it for me. Okay, 10th of February, so just before our racing, is the next sale I care about. Got the Fridays, we'll check Fridays. Fridays are really easy to check for me. Because I'll look, see if anybody's got, like, a graded winner, or has a sire or dam that's, like, won big races. And then also, you can look at the, unraced 3-year-olds. Kind of decide what you want to do with them, but I normally check lineage. If they haven't won any money, then I normally don't risk it. Fillies, mine sometimes are worth it. Again, what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? I spend another 500,000 after dropping 7 or 8 million. That didn't work out, and Beat to the Blues, not a great either. But it doesn't take too long. Like a minute so, and I know my race isn't for a while, I can skip through. I can skip through to Friday because it's the Friday auction, and I know the 10th that I'm looking. There's nothing there. Now what I'm going to do, just go around to the 10th and save. And then we get into the auction that I think has been the most productive for me. Grade 2 winner, laid back, mile 2, I like that. Okay, looks like maybe they've been running lazy. I don't know. They've got some kind of racing aid. What is C? Blinkers, I think, is B. Visors, I believe, is V. Noseband? I think might be the C. I don't know why. Been running perhaps with a noseband. But okay, like, yeah, it didn't run great in any of the races. The best race, however, was mile 1. The best race was on mile 1. Mile 1 here, mile 1 here, and a mile 1 there, which I think means it's a mile 1 horse. 3 lengths back, beaten by Moon, who not a great horse. Wagyu's won a grade 1, came close to another, but doesn't seem a great horse. Kazar really is. Kazar really seems to be an amazing horse. Possibly will enter the breeding barn next year. It'd be really good to like just breed something to them. Yeah, Backstreet Girl I don't think is anything special. Got lightly raced 4-year-old. Mile Maiden 2.8 faded, better for runs. So Rang Green. Maybe Titania. Definitely wasn't the right length. So Bella Venetia. And an unraced 4-year-old. I think out of everybody, those would be the 3 I'd run. And try and see. They're all young, okay? They're all 4-year-olds. They're all kind of... They've all got a shot. They're either lightly raced, and I don't think the maiden suited. Like, one ran green over a mile, one ran at 5 furlongs and ran on, so probably went 6 to 7. Both still did fairly well and went that far back in their respective races, 2nd and 3rd. I don't know. I don't know. But again, if we're willing to take the risks, we're willing to take the risk. And that's something you've got to decide for yourself. And Grecian Goddess, again, we're not talking big money here. We're not talking 1-2 million for the horses. We're talking like 300,000. Bella Venetia, we are overestimated, so we'll get that horse. And Titania is 100,000 minimum. Yeah, right now, yeah, we're looking at like 530,000. Like it's small amount. The unraced, again, that's like a mile 1 to a mile 2. It's not great. Grecian Goddess doesn't make it. That's the most expensive one. Let's go most expensive down. Tons of stamina for Titania, yes. You would not probably have enjoyed that mile. Really not a bad horse. Really not a bad horse. Low confidence, but everything else is pretty decent. Finish application is only half a bar. Potential's not great, but yeah, I mean, I've had much worse. To pay like 130 for that horse, spend maybe another 100,000 across his lifetime to keep racing it. That means all it's got to do is win 250 grand in prize money. You can do that. Can do that. Not bad. Bad. And then the cheap one, Bella Venetia. Yeah, I had no real hopes of being that cheap, but again, speculate. Take your chance. And the ones that do pay off, pay for the ones that don't. And I'm a very firm believer. Okay. There's more 2-year-olds after these races, and then 1st of March going to be. That's the yearlings. We love the yearling sale. Okay, joint favorites looks like Aquilius Pictor actually trying to do. And Dan is present back again with that run against them. But we will see how that works out. For that though, again, why? That's probably half of that. And if distance is wrong, that's probably half. I'm probably not going to go after Am I Blue? Expect this bids, but okay, 420 and a quarter. Auction. Great, but we've found ourselves another side. Found ourselves another side for another 500,000. So now we're at about 10 million, I feel, in terms of the outlay. So far, we're around that 10 million mark. But we found ourselves another side. 70 to 75 ability potential. 10 battling qualities that have been. Confidence of 70 is pretty high. Not the highest, but pretty high. Cruising burst of 60 is the highest by 15 points. Extra speed of 70, quite the lowest. With 100. 100 gets me to 6 because I mistyped. Didn't run down. So yeah, 605 is the first horse we've had over 600. Not bad. It's also the oldest one. So that means if it's still there next season, it'll be 9. Usually go not too long after that, if I'm honest. Like 12. You might see a couple. Yeah, I mean, again, make sure it's right for you. Every deal has to be the way you play the game, the horses you get. I wouldn't worry about it. Okay, so we've done our auctioning and sales. Yeah, we started this, I think, at like 98 million, so we're in the whole touching that 10 million. All we've got are 2 potentials. Take it. I will take it. Decent field. Yeah, we don't really know them. Bandroll's the favorite. Okay. Highest. I think we've got a shot. We're a good horse. We got a shot anyway. The Lasford Stakes. Red one's the 3-year-old. Was the outside and we get away. Well, Hamlin on our outside will front. And then against the second encore in second. Banderol in the red, Hasselden in the green inside us, Baltic Bomber in between, and Roque on the outside at the rear right now. No change. Group of 5 at the back. Second encore's there now, being caught by a bunch of horses. We are trying to find our way through, but we're going to get blocked off here. There's no easy path through. I don't know if we've got the challenge in us. Looks like we're not tiring, but there's a lot of movement. A lot of horses in our way. I'd love to be able to get up to third at least, and I think we're just about going to get there. But Rumkay from Bandro, I think you run that again and maybe stick to the outside a touch more. Don't run into traffic as much as we did. I think we'd be up there with them, whether or not we beat them. Up there. Promising run, not too bad. Couple of grade 2s, one at higher weight. We're the lowest rated horse. Domikitty Supreme is carrying an extra. Again, we don't really know most of this field. There's no point in. Like Sam Vincent Stakes is a grade 2 for 3-year-olds on dirt. Inside track here's a very late start. Very late start. The inside track will help us out a little bit, but 3 white socks before 9 before 10, all the way out in front. Benaraton, that'll do nicely on our outside. Kitty Supreme in the grey and red, and then Excellent Gem at the. Again, there's going to be traffic. We're going to have to bide our time if we are going to come through. I don't think we're going to have any sort of finish. That'll do nicely. The favourite closing in on 3 white socks. 3-way dance for the front. No, 9 before 10 drops out. Up into 4th place. Didn't quite get that top 3 finish. Yeah, not too bad. Bad. Yeah. Okay, brief little interruption there while I went catch a baby bird that a young kitten had captured into the house. So that's bird number 2. After when my wife had to catch the first one, wasn't laughing on this one. So yeah. Oh god. I think it flew out the door. I think everything's okay. The door was open. I went to shut the bedroom doors. And plenty of places it could have hidden. But it doesn't look to have been in any of them. I spent a good 10 minutes searching. And the cat was kind of by the door, facing the door, very calm and relaxed. That's where I saw the bird last in that. So unless it shows up, starts flying around because I've shut the door, I'm just going to assume that it flew out. Yeah, the cat looks very pleased with herself. I've opened a window. We got a little catio where cats can go out and lounge. But they're kind of fenced in, not roofed in, but fenced in. So the chance a bird kind of flies towards them, but that's the wrong. It shouldn't be able to get any. That's the end. Okay, Aslander. Favorites, we might be able to get 5. We got good speed. Probably are a 6 furlong horse. It depends. And on the field, but we don't know the field. You know, they're an unraced bunch apart from Phenomenon. Came dead last. Maiden. Yeah, I think I run. I run. Isha. 6th or 7th. There's a chance that's a D. Hot headed out there. I'm just going to go for the expensive horses. And we're probably going to be 2.3. Can ballpark another 10 million here. 9.5 at least. Definitely spending money. Okay, we've got 2 sires that we can use. 2 names, horses that we're going to have to do the full legwork on this one. So Nisha is going to go to need to go check because sounds like the cat is stalking and playing. So maybe that bird didn't get out. Maybe I'm going to have to go find out. If I can hear any flying, she continues to stalk. Yeah, that is slightly concerning. Not a lie. Done. We'll come back with that. Bear with me. Okay, bird found inside the house. Bird released outside the house. Cat not very happy with that. What can you do? I've had that little escapade is over right. Okay, but this is crazy. The tool's not bad, not great, but not. And I should check it. Look here at Tennessee. Tennessee is not too shabby. Not too shabby. So low ability, decent potential. Across the board, really. You're looking at the lower half of the stats. Big mistake in my notes. There we go. Okay, 585. That's not far behind Malaton. Lowest potential. Duel doesn't do anything we really like. Doesn't look bad, doesn't look great. It has a good sire. Look at Nisha. Nisha looks like trash. Sire. And doesn't look bad, but yeah. It's not amazing. Half decent, but clogged down. Again, not anything we want. So a lot there again. We have gained another 3. That puts us up to tied. Puts us up to 9. Of the 3, one is the lowest overall total that doesn't have full finishing and has a 0 confidence. I'm actually going to do a Calabasa road down to Lilbone Lad and Tendency have been added to Tendency probably the weakest in terms of ability and potential, but other stats are pretty good. Yeah, third in terms of total points, but the worst potential out of every horse. Stillborn Lad is joint second in ability, kind of decent in potential, and is our top horse. So, yeah, I think that's okay. Let's go then to Louisville. Gonna go and see Aslander run here. Grade 3 for 2-year-olds, over 5 furlongs. Don't know too much. Honestly, we don't know anything. Like about this field, about our horse. I think it's a 6 furlong. Got an inside draw here. Third of 7. 6. Third of 6. So Powder Puff and Phenomenon out early. Lawgiver on the inside. We go in ahead of them. Holcomb Boy in the black. Scrapper Smith. Looks like Scrapper Smith. Lovely finish. Comes straight through from the back. Powering on. We just don't have anything at all. Yeah. Maybe we could have done something over 6, or if the jockey had gone early enough. End up 2.5 back. Well, I still think Aslander is definitely a 6 furlong. Kicking off. There we go. Okay, do number pad for transition. Yeah, we got ourselves. I mean, we got ourselves a little. So I think Symbiote's a 5 furlong. The other 3 are 6 furlong. Unless they've gained more. Believe me, this time that's happened very early on. Looks like they're all still 6 to 5 furlong. That's a 10% bar, so that's that rate. And up to a 20 to 25 range, that's kind of 7 furlongs to a mile. Mile 1 actually kicks in between 45 and 55. A mile 2 can also start at 55, though, so you've got to be kind of careful when you get into the all the way up to about 65, 70, which is also a mile 3 territory, the top end of that rate. And then a mile 4 to 2 miles is anything 75 and up. It really does contend with a lot of other factors. It's not just stamina at that point. But those are your kind of indicators there. Of course, you've got your breeding indicators. So Dana should be 1 mile 1, which is because both Push Me and had light 1 1. See there, a mile 2 and a mile 5. We average that out to about a mile 3.5. We up it. That is the breeding indicator for Victor. 8 furlongs to 2, 6. Ah, yes, a mile 2 and a mile 6. We average it. See, the math works if you actually. Aslander 7, which means they're fake. They're fake sire, fake dam, whoever they were. Have either been both 7s or at worst a mile 1 and 5 furlongs. Can't really 7 furlongs anyway. That same for Common Folk, same for Dumney, and Symbiote would be 5 furlong, 7 furlong, or 2 6 furlong. Most likely. Could easily be a 6 furlong and a 7, a 5 and a 6, and rounded it. But yeah, I feel comfortable with running that horse over 5, breeding at 6. The rest, I think, will get to about a mile or so. I do need to breed in some stamina to their bloodlines. Here we go then. California Symbiote. Possibly the last race of for maiden season. Third, second, and first in 3 different maidens. 1 wrong distance hand green, the second green, third the win. We go straight into this then. A grade 3 over 5 furlongs for Symbiote. Year-olds. And 12 middle of the pack. And not a great start. Decently late out of the gate. Settle into the mid-pack here. Brave Cat with Love Take Majestic Melody just in behind. Then us. Looks like Psychologist and Be the One are there as well. Kaleidoscope and Northern Gulch, but down towards the final 1.5. And Symbiote is gone. Symbiote is flying. Chased down Brave Cat. Ran through the middle of the pack. Absolutely storm clear. Dominated. Pushing out down the home stretch. Foot off the gas. Coasting across the line. The Collingers comes into third. That's a win. That's a win with authority. Symbiote picks up our first on a 2 year. 6 3/4. Absolutely ideal. Absolutely ideal. Okay, so Symbiote's up to a 97 rating. Let me update my file here. Aslander is 85. The 2 don't have anything quite yet. Everybody's okay. Aslander was 75. No max. Common Folk 80. Dummy 80 max. So I've put them in as 85s, which maybe then we've got a 5 furlong Symbiote who is close to that 100 rating. For a 2-year-old season, I like to run them somewhere between 4 and 6 races. That's generally where I like to do. But to check and see what the head lad says, and kind of, they'll tell you exactly how ready or not they are to race, and if they're being over raced. That will also be coming into play with a juvenile consistency as well. But yeah, I like to get 100. I like to get a grade. I like to win a maiden. Those 3 things, generally what I want to do. Now, Symbiote might race one more time to get the 100. The extra points really aren't worth it, in my opinion. I really don't care about them for the sake of them. If there's a good race, I'll put it in. If there's a grade 1 that I think it can win or challenge, I'll put it in. And same with Auslander. We won a maiden. We ran a little short to try and get a grade. Come up with an 85 rating. That's pretty good. If I can get a grade at 6 furlongs, a grade 3 on Auslander, I think we'll be close to 100 as well. And they have maxed out. Common Folk Domini, they've only got a short little. They both got a little short 4 points, 4 percentage points to gain in terms of realizing the potential they've been assigned this season. I've got them down at 80 to 85 because I just like general terms, not directly accurate for those numbers because it gets too. Yeah, but very decent, very decent. I feel there was 2 decent runs as well for our 3-year-olds, even though they're not great. I've added 2 names to the list of studs. We have everybody in full, so end of the season, we'll see what these 29. We'll see what these 29 players are like. And Calabaz is in there, who we just found out about, but we don't love. Malaton we assigned to Chelsea Blue. another excitable horse, but one with pretty good stats, so might actually be a fall worth keeping. So a couple. Leamington Lad isn't bad. Monty Fay, one on our list. Looks like quite a lot of our listed horses weren't actually in the breeding ban. I've actually checked, so some of them might actually be out of the game now. That's just how it happens. But most of those, though, 27, maybe 26 of them are brand new to us. That we're gonna find out. Yeah, 26. We're gonna find out exactly how good a sire they might be at the end of the season. So that will wrap things up. There's some more races to book, but I think that's a pretty good start. We've dropped out 20 million over the course of the episode. We've gone ahead and we've bought absolute ton of horses. And none of them really have paid off this season, but we're going to keep trying. We're going to keep searching. We're going to keep trying. Maybe we'll find someone we like. Maybe we won't. But end of the day, I'm happy where we are. I'm happy with the horses we have. And I think we're in a good place. So, decent start to the series. Let me know what you think. Comment section down below. As always, I've been Chris Army. Thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate the support. With that in mind, hit that like button for me before you go. Hit subscribe if you haven't done so yet for more content. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care, stay safe, behave. I'll see you.